What is up, Men's League? My name is Tyler. You can follow me on Instagram at DJTJ403. As you can see, I am talking to you from my live recording studio. I do live streams every Friday night, 8 to 10 o'clock on Twitch. We don't do Instagram because they kick you off for infringement of music. So yeah, we just do Twitch until the restrictions of the curfew are lifted. I will be there every Friday. So looking like every December, come out and join me. It's a fun time. So anyways, if you do follow me on Instagram, you know that I'm not the type to get behind my camera and talk and post. But with the recent people that have gone before me talking about vulnerability and situations that they haven't been comfortable in, I had to get on here. I had to do something. So I really started thinking to myself, what can I talk about? And then it hit me, 10 years ago, I was in probably the worst spot in my life. And how did I get there? It had to do with gambling. I definitely had an addiction. So before I get started about my story, I just wanted to give you guys a few quick facts. Fact number one is that Calgary has the third most casinos per capita in North America. We trail only Las Vegas and Atlantic City. The second thing is that 5% of Albertans are addicted to gambling. And the last thing that I just wanted to mention, as we're all sports fans that probably follow Men's League, something I want to make aware to you guys is that the single bet bill is actually being talked about right now. So it is illegal to go on a website and place a bet for one, just say, hey, the Rams are going to beat the Eagles. I want to bet on the Rams. Just do that, and that's technically illegal. So yeah, that's just something to know, and something that Canada is trying to approve right now. So just a random fact for you. Anyways, my story. Let's get started on the story. So I'm not going to name names, but two of my really close friends back, I think we were definitely out of high school, and they thought that they could beat the system. And which game was that? That was roulette. They had a way that if you bet on red, and if you don't win, you double up your bet, and you keep doubling your bet until you finally win, and then you come back even. Well, the problem with that is that it could just hit black 8 times in a row and you're screwed. It just doesn't work. You can never beat the system. And we all love games. Like me and my friends, we love games. We love being competitive. So, all the games, all the table games are very attractive to go out and play, especially when you're going to a hockey game, going to a concert. Down the Stampede ground, there's tons of casinos. It's easy just to walk through, play some games, and that's fine, and that's how it gets started, is playing with your friends and having some fun. But then you go to the casino by yourself, and it's a totally different ball game. I'll never forget the first time that I went to the casino by myself. I won, I think, $500, and for someone that's playing $5 blackjack hands, winning $500 is a big deal. And that's when I thought I was bigger than the system. So the very next day, I go back to the casino by myself. And of course, you lose that $500 plus another $500. And you would think that you would learn your lesson at that point, but you don't. And anytime I would get paid, anytime I would have funds in my account, I would go back. I got a credit card. I maxed out my credit card. I would go take out cash advance loans. I actually took out a loan and just gambled it away and lost all of that. And that really, really put me in a bad position financially. And that's when I really learned how interest works. And when you're dealing with a high interest rate on a large amounts, you're paying a lot of that monthly payment back to you're paying it in interest. You're paying very little of your principal. Once your owing amount goes down lower, then the interest becomes less significant because there's not much to interest you on. So, just making minimum payments, that would not get me ahead, and that just kept pushing me behind and behind and behind. Um, and one time I actually called one of those hotlines to talk about my financial troubles and start talking about bankruptcy. And I told someone my issues, and they kind of laughed at me and said this isn't really that big of a problem. And that's when it kind of hit me. It's like, hey, well, let's start working this off. Let's get there. We can do this. And once I get there, I told myself I would never go back in debt. And I can sit here happily and say that I did achieve those goals, and I've never looked back. I'm definitely not one to go out and finance a brand new car. I would like to just grab something older that I can afford, that I pay for, and I have no more loans. As I get older, as we start looking for a house, that could definitely change. But that's a loan that growing up you get to, and hopefully this justification for higher education picture is my motivation, and that's my next goal here. So, anyways, that's my story, and why I mentioned that single bet bill is because with the legalization of online gambling, it has become a new world, and it's easy to think that we're just betting because we know the sport, we follow the sport, we have a good feeling. And throwing out a little bet here and there and make things interesting, that's fine. It's just you have to realize when it's becoming a problem, when you start going into your credit, when you start betting with money that you don't have. It'll never work out. I can promise you that. So anyways, yeah, that's my story. I appreciate you guys for taking the time and listening to me. And hopefully, if you haven't had a gambling addiction and you were about to start having one, this story might steer you away from that. And just finances are a big thing, and I know that this is going to be a big portion of MenzLeague going forward in the new year. So I really look forward to taking advantage of everything that they have to offer, and I really appreciate you guys for doing everything that you do. Keep up the good work. I'm out. Peace.